Pero bakit po biglang isiningit yung hotel at restaurant at iniwan lang po yung palengke? Yung restaurant and hotel?
Iho, yung institutional buyer. I-define mo kung ano yung institutional buyer kasi vague yun. Dapat
Ma'am,
hindi.
ma'am, sorry.
Wala yun sa batas eh. Inisiningit nyo dun sa 195 eh. Ano yung institutional buyer?
Yes, sir. Opo.
Ma'am, sorry. Please don't call me Iho.
Calling
Okay.
him.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes po.
Okay.
The meaning of institutional buyer.
Okay.
Yun eh.
Oh, go ahead.
Processing and canning.
Yes, kaya nga po. Exactly.
Define vague yung institutional buyer. Ano ba yung institutional buyer?
Yung institutional buyer po, accredited entities or corporations importing fish or final consumption processing food requirements for accredited hotels and restaurants which would execute an undertaking that they will not distribute the commodities to the wet markets. Ito po, institutional buyers, nandito po, nakasulat.
May I first read the background of the issues in our agenda today. Last November 29, 2022, Senator Raffy Tulfo delivered a privileged speech entitled Pampano and Salmon before pinagbabawal ang pagtinda. He raised the issues on the prohibition of BIFAR on imported fishes being available in public markets, hence affecting the livelihood of the fish vendors and the market availability of some fish products, which includes pampano and salmon. He also raised his issues on Fisheries Administrative Order number 195 series of 1999 or the rules and regulation governing importation of fresh, chilled, frozen fish and fishery aquatic products. First, the implementation of FAO 195 affects only the small fish vendors, which BIFAR should focus more on the importers. Second, the inclusion of institutional buyers in addition to the products for canning and processing purposes as one of the exceptions to the importation requirement of the existence of certificate of necessity to import issued by the Department of Agriculture. Lastly, specifically prohibiting pampano and salmon, which in fact all imported fish products, including cream dory and the like, should be regulated. The issue on the composition of members of the National Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Management Council, which does not include representative from fish market vendors and consumers, was also raised. Let me first summarize the rules and regulation relative to the importation of the fish and fishery aquatic products. On September 20, 1999, more than a year after the passage of Republic Act number 8550 or the Philippine Fisheries Code of 1998, the Department of Agriculture issued FAO 195 in recognition of the need to ensure food safety on imported fresh, chilled, frozen fish and fishery aquatic products. Section 2 of FAO 195, the importation of fresh, chilled, frozen fish and fishery and aquatic products shall be allowed when certified as necessary by the Secretary in order to achieve food security, taking into consideration public welfare and safety in consultation with the NFARMC, provided that the importation of fresh, chilled, frozen, and fishery aquatic products for canning and processing purposes, including importation undertaken by institutional buyers, does not require such certification. Provided further that all importation satisfies the permit to import and sanitary and phytosanitary requirements as provided under Section 67 of Republic Act number 8550, the hazard analysis and critical control point standards and as provided for under this order. In addition to FAO 195, on September 14, 2018, the DA then issued FAO 259 series of 2018, which is the rules and regulation on the importation of frozen fish and fishery aquatic products for wet markets during closed and off fishing season or during the occurrence of calamities. To allow fish species to reproduce and for the fry and juveniles to mature and restore valuable fish stocks, the closed fishing season for the following areas were imposed. The Northeast Palawan Sea will be closed from November 1 to January 31. The Visayan Sea from November 15 to February 15. The Zamboanga Peninsula from December 1 to March 1, and the Davao Gulf from June 1 to August 31 every year. Due to the start of the closed fishing season this year, BIFAR recently approved the issuance of 25,000 metric ton certificate of necessity to import frozen round cod, big eye scad, mackerel, bonito, and moonfish. DA then issued Special Order number 1002, series of 2022, dated November 10, 2022, to be the guidelines for the implementation of FAO 259 in relation to the newly issued CNI. Let this public hearing be the chance for the Senate to listen to the justification, concern, and recommendations of everyone invited today in relation to these issues. But first, I will now give the floor to Senator Tulfo for his opening statement.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Madam Chair, Senator Cynthia Villar. First of all, I would like to thank you for calling this committee to tackle the issues on BIFAR, which I raised during my privileged speech. The agricultural industry is a top priority for this administration, and I agree fully that food security is a concern that must be addressed. Much focus has been given to our farmers and land produce. Today, we must focus on the fisheries aspect of agriculture. And before anything else, nais ko pong pasalamatan ang BIFAR dahil sa pag-lift po, temporary lifting ng ban sa pagtitinda ng pampano at ng pink salmon imported sa mga public markets. So, meron lang po akong katanungan at natanong ko na po ito noon. Bakit po ngayon lang? But before you answer that question, noong 1999, yung RA 8550 na issue na nga po yung batas na yan para sa mga pag-i-import ng mga isda. At doon po sa batas na yan nakapaloob lamang yung exemption sa mga canning industry. Bakit po nung gumawa na kayo ng FAO 195, biglang naisingit yung restaurant at hotels? Ano pong nangyari in the process? Sinong gustong sumagot?
Can I intercede for a moment? I would just like to acknowledge the online presence of Senator Poe and Senator Binay. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Can you answer?
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, Senator Tulfo, and to the rest of the senators. Relative dun sa unang tanong ho, sir, as to why is it that it's only now that we are implementing FAO 195, I just would like, sir, to explain that we have already been implementing that since its enactment in 1999. But recently, we've received reports that there are a lot of illegally diverted fish and fishery products in the wet markets. This has become prevalent, necessitating the Bureau to expand its operation and adopt an end-to-end monitoring of imported products. Ito hong market monitoring that we are doing, this is just part and parcel of the expanded initiative of the Bureau to address this particular issue. But since 1999, we have already been employing pre-border, border, and post-border control in order to implement FAO 195.
To ask, paano nyo implement? Wala nga kayong first border facility.
First and second.
Yes, ma'am.
Paano kayo nag-i-implement? Wala kayong first border facility. Ngayon, we gave you money to establish the first border facility in 2019. Hindi na i-implement hanggang ngayon. And this year, we are also giving money for 3 first border facility so that we will not be any more controversial kasi pinatay nyo yung livestock industry because of sickness that comes with the ASF due to the absence of our first border facility. Kaya hindi po totoo na may first border facility.
Before you answer that, Madam Chair, you've been implementing, sabi nyo, yung pagsisita sa mga pampano at pink salmon sa mga palengke. I would assume yun ang ibig nyo sabihin. So, saan nyo po ini-implement? Saan palengke? Dahil kung meron po kayong ginagawa implementation, bakit nagkalat po yung pagtitinda ng mga pampano at pink salmon sa mga palengke at wala ho tayo nabalitaan since 1999 na meron nga pong ganung batas. In fact, nobody knows about this. Not even the fish vendors na mga nakausap ko, nga sila, sabi nila, hindi ko nga po alam kung ano po yung batas na yan, sir. At wala po kami nababalitaan na bawal pala yan. Ngayon lang po namin nalaman yan. That's number 1. And then, number 2, which is also a follow-up question, kung seryoso po talaga kayo tungkol po sa importation ng mga imported fish, siguro po you have to go to the bottom of the problem, which is sinabi ni Ma'am Border Patrol. Meron din siguro yung dumadaan sa Bureau of Customs. Siguro i-check niyo po sa Bureau of Customs sino po ang mga importer nito, sino po yung mga supplier, sino po nagpaparating at nagbabayad ba ito ng mga tamang buwis. Ito ba ini-smuggle, lantaran, or ito po ipinapasok at legit ang pagpasok nito kaya lang sobrang liit ang binabayad na buwis na hindi na po kumikita ang ating gobyerno.
Yes, sir. Opo. Relative dun, sir, sa the question of saan ho nag-i-implement yung Bureau before we've adopted our supposedly plan to expand the operation. As I mentioned a while ago, sir, 3 po yung components niyan. Then this is the traditional way of how we implement the FAO. First, meron ho tayong pre-border controls na ina-adapt. Meron ho tayong border control na ina-adapt. At meron ho tayong post-border control.
I have to interrupt, Madam Chair. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, yung bang pinagsabihan niyo po, yung mga maliliit na vendor sa palengke na bawal na ang pagtitinda ng pampano at ng pink salmon. So that's part of the implementation. You're just implementing itong sinasabi sa batas na bawal yung pagbenta niyan. Kasi ang pinapayagan lang na pwede magbenta niyan, ang magkaroon niyan ay yung mga hotel at restaurant. And my follow-up question is, bakit bawal sa palengke pero okay sa restaurant at okay sa mga hotel? Anong pinagkaiba? What's the difference?
Okay. Yung sir, yung the one that we mentioned a while ago, ito hong sa palengke, this is just part of the expanded program that we wish to implement, yung hong market monitoring. Kasi nga ho, talamak na ho yung presence nung diverted...
I know, talamak na, pero kung talamak na, bakit hindi kayo nagpa-disseminate ng information to the media na meron palang FAO 195 na ito palang nangyayari, talamak na yung pagtitinda ng mga isda, imported fish sa palengke na covered ng FAO 95 na hindi dapat. So kung meron kayong proper information dissemination sa media, then dapat noon pa since 1999 nalaman na.
Apo, ito hong ginawa natin, sir, sa palengke. Ito ho part ng IEC campaign. Hindi ho kami nagkumpiska pa. Hindi rin ho kami nang huli pa. So we are trying to come up with an...
O nga po, pero
permission,
pinanervous
right?
niyo po yung mga titinda ng palengke. Natakot po sila kasi marami po dyan nagtitinda ng isda na pampano at salmon na yun lang po yung kanilang hanap buhay. So nung marinig nila na ipinagbabawal na yan, syempre natakot po sila. Yung iba sa kanila naawa sa kanilang mga sarili, sa kanilang mga pamilya because sinabi na sa kanilang family na matatapos na yung ating hanap buhay. Our livelihood is at stake because of this FAO 195. Now, kung talagang bawal ito, sana noon pa, ginamit niyo po yung media para i-disseminate yung information noon pa na ito yung FAO 195 at ito yung nakasaad sa FAO 195. Noon pa sana naayos yung problema. Bakit too late na? Yun po yung tanong ko. Di ba?
Opo, we recognize so, sir, na siguro it has been a little bit late, pero we are moving forward to address that. Kasi kung nakikita ho natin, for the past years, talaga hong dumami ng dumami, and it's about time to really have a...
Kaya nga po sir, so pinabayaan yung dumami muna sa kay-action. Dapat bago pa man dumami, umaksyon na po kayo.
There, hindi naman makakarating sa wet market yan. Saan ang galing? Di ba doon sa mga importer at saka kung hindi in-import, smuggler? Ba't hindi yun ang birahin nyo, hindi itong wet market? Kasi yung mga nagtitinda sa wet market, mga simpleng tao lang yan. Kung may magtinda sa kanila, bibili nila, ititinda nila sa wet market. Dapat ang pinigil nyo yung importer at smuggler, hindi yung wet market. Paano nakarating yan dyan? Ba't yan ang pinag-iinitan nyo? Punta kayo doon sa pinanggalingan.
Yes, ma'am. Totoo po yun, ma'am. Kaya nga po yung general plan ho, ma'am, talaga hong hindi lang wet market, paiigtingin din ho yung pagbabantay doon sa yung tinatawag nating end-to-end monitoring. Kasi yung nakaraan, ma'am, ang ginagawa po namin...
Sorry sir, I'm sorry, hindi ko matiis to. Marami yung kayong mga sinasabi na parang paikot-ikot lang po tayo. Lumilito kasi, I would like to simplify things, okay? Hindi bawal ang magtinda, mag-import at magtinda ng mga imported fish, pampano and salmon, canning industry, hotel and restaurant. Exempted sila para kumuha ng certification at permit. Exempted tong tatlo. Ang hindi lang exempted ay yung palengke. Yun lang po yun eh. Okay? So marami pa ko yung sinasabi na entry port, etc. etc. Yun lang po, bawal ang sa palengke. Everything else, again, canning industry, hotel, restaurant, hindi bawal. Bakit palengke lang? Yun po yun eh. Pag palengke ka, kailangan mo, pag magtitinda ka, other than those three, kailangan mo ng permit at certification. So, kumbaga, yung permit at certification, specifically, discriminatory para sa akin, para lamang sa mga palengke. So, ibig sabihin, para lamang sa mga maliliit nating kababayan. Yung mga taong hindi kayang pumunta ng restaurant, hindi kayang pumunta ng hotel, diniprive nyo sila ng opportunity na makatikim man lang na masarap at imported na isda.
Yes, sir. Opo. Ganito po, sir. Ang basihan ho niyan, sir, nasa Section 61 ng Fisheries Code. Doon po sa Section 61, nakalagay ho doon na yung dalawang purpose ng importation, yung canning and processing,
Okay.
at yung on the other side, yung kailangan ng CNI for other purposes.
Exactly. So bakit all of us, I understand, I got you. I know where you're coming from. Sige, canning industry, kuha natin yan.